Hello there, lovely people, it's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and welcome back to Alex Asks. And last time, I asked you, lovely lot, what would be your dream ported game for the Nintendo Switch? Well, here's just what a few of you had to say. Kicking things straight off, we were already sort of breaking the rules because this isn't a port, this is a sequel, but you know what? It's my show, I don't care, let's go for it. Marcus Ayrton says, a new full proper Animal Crossing. The 3DS one was and is really great, but I think the next year or two it should come to the Switch, as the Wii U didn't get its own one, aside from Amiibo Festival, which wasn't that great. That's the understatement of the century right there. And it's been 4 years since New Leaf came out. Well, if you take the Amiibo, what is it, Welcome Amiibo, not Amiibo Festival, don't worry, I'm not talking about that. If you include Welcome Amiibo, then it's not been that long, because that only came out last year, and I know it's basically just kind of like a free update to New Leaf, but even so, you know, it's pretty new, so it shows that Nintendo at least cares about Animal Crossing, as they should. It's a marvelous series. And if we can get an HD Animal Crossing game on the go, so you still get all the usual sort of local communications where you go to other people's towns and stuff like that on the Switch, good lordy, I'd be up for that. Jonah Katsanis says, I want to see Rocket League on the Switch. It's really big with my friends right now, and they would totally buy the Switch if Rocket League was for the Switch. And it would be so cool to play Rocket League on the go, anywhere, anytime. That basically sounds like it's been taken straight out of one of Nintendo's sales pitches. I agree, I think it's a great fit for the system. I've not played it extensively, but it's good fun. It's very sort of, it takes a lot of practice to get good at it and stuff like that, like a lot of Nintendo titles, so I think it would fit really well. And if you could do the split screen so that you'd have the, you know, the Joy-Con thing, I'm pretty sure you don't need that many buttons for it, do you? Do you? Nah. Somebody whom I feel obligated to call Puddin says, I want Melee HD, we all want Melee HD, and a GameCube adapter for the GameCube Virtual Library. Loads of you were asking for Melee HD, and I can see there really is a big market for it out there. Loads of people really enjoy that game. For me, personally, I love it, but it really is not my go-to Smash game, probably because I'm absolutely pants at it. But yeah, I can sort of see it maybe coming, but I do, at the same time, I can sort of see them not, because Nintendo probably don't want to dilute the whole experience with standard, Super Smash Bros. That they call it now? What would they call it? Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch? Who knows? Let me know what you call it down there in the comments. But yeah, you know, they've got that game, and I think they really want to push that as a proper esport, and I know they do acknowledge Melee and stuff like that, but even so, they don't want to, you know, dilute and distract people too much, so I'm not sure. It could easily go either way, but, you know, at the same time, I wouldn't be horribly surprised if it never happened. Sorry. GCN Matt says, DuckTales, ooh, tales of daring, do bad and good luck tales. You should be very impressed because I've never seen DuckTales. I only know the tune from, like, I can't even remember what it was, just like some video about the new one that's coming out. Had David Tennant in it, it was cool. Yeah, I could see DuckTales coming. They recently remastered it, didn't they? So I imagine it would be a really simple way to just port it over, you know, the HD version. Could you switch back to the old graphics? I don't think you could. I think it was, like, actually built from the ground up. Not entirely certain about that. Could it come to the Switch? Yeah, cool, why not? Go for it, yeah. Moving on. The Raven Pirate says they need to port Pepsi Man. You know, this is one of those games, I actually don't know an awful lot about it, but even so, just looking at it, I can get a vague idea of what it's actually about. In fact, it's not even a vague idea, I can tell exactly what it's about. It's a massively weird Japanese game that just plays on the complete idea of total weirdness, and I think it's marvelous. And honestly, it's the sort of thing where I can see in about 5 years' time it comes up on Kickstarter, somebody says they're going to remake it, only it's called like something else because Pepsi's a brand name, and it goes up on Kickstarter and it has a really bad quality video promoting it, and then everyone goes, oh yeah, you should pay for it, and nobody does. BlueJ1524 says, quite simply, Dreamport Shenmue 3. I have a little bit of a confession to make. I do know of the Shenmue games, and I've played one very briefly. I believe it was the first one, but I have never actually played any game in the series substantially, so I'm not the best person to talk to about this. I'm also not the best person, let alone the pest person. However, I do know that it is a massive game, and so many people follow the series so strongly, as they should do it. You know, it's been accolades. How many accolades? It's regarded as one of the best video game series of all time. I think Shenmue 2 was slightly worse than Shenmue 1, but don't quote me on that, because I'm an idiot. And yeah, the third one coming out, I mean, it could totally happen. I mean, it really should. That'd be great. I'd love to play Shenmue 3. I'd like to play the other ones as well. I've got a Dreamcast now, but have you seen those prices? Ho ho! Fire Ninja 84 says Meme Run for Wii U, but with Pimp Waluigi as the main character. I don't think I need to say anything, but I will. Mean Run is a festering turd of wasted code, and Pimp Waluigi is quite literally God, so they don't really go together. SH4DY, or Shady perhaps, says, my dream ports GTA, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Call of Duty. Not because I would play them, but because they would attract a whole new lot of customers to boost the sales of the Switch, resulting in more and better games. This guy knows it. Now, I would play GTA, I play Red Dead Redemption 2, I might even dabble with a little bit of COD, but they're not going to be my go-to games for the system, but I would love them to come over, simply because it means I wouldn't have to turn on my Xbox One, because that thing takes ages to load up, but also, as Shady so rightfully said, it would bring so many new people in, and it would make the Switch brilliant, and you get even more games for it, and it wouldn't be another Wii U, and I don't want another Wii U, although I love you Wii U, but you're just not popular. Sorry. Geraldo Nunez says, I would like My Horse Prince to be ported. It is the greatest game of all time. Now, I actually have no idea what the Horse Prince is, so I'm going to look it up now, and you'll see what I see. Sort of. My Horse Prince. I'm going to stick game on the end just to be on the safe side. See what happens, what comes up. I wish I was blind. Edwin Fernandez says, I would like to see Skyrim ported, :D, dreams come true. Now, I know this seems like a bit of a non-comment because it is indeed coming to the Switch, Skyrim that is, not Edwin Fernandez. Was that your name? Yeah, it was. But the fact is, if Skyrim wasn't actually confirmed for the Switch, and somebody mentioned it now, I'm sure most people would just say, oh, it'll never come to the Switch. Bethesda have never made a game for a Nintendo system. Why would they start now? It wouldn't be easy to port over. This, that, the other wouldn't be very good. Mods, PC, Master Race, all that bollocks, frankly. And yet, it is actually happening. We are actually getting Skyrim on the Switch, and it's going to be beautiful. Trust me. Theme Park Land says, my dream port would be Overwatch so I can play on the go, and you were one of maybe 15 million people who suggested Overwatch. Now, I haven't actually played Overwatch yet because I've been too busy playing Nintendo games because, well, it's kind of my job, but I do understand that this is a massive game and so many people absolutely love it. And I think it can run fairly easily on a lot of, fairly low-end PCs. So you don't have to have a super big gaming rig to do it. So the Switch could probably handle it pretty well, I imagine, and Blizzard are a big company. They know how to optimize. Having said that, I've just mentioned Bethesda recently. So yeah, I mean, there's no reason I can see why it shouldn't come to the Switch. It's a big game, big fan base, a lot of people want to play it on the go. Make it happen, Blizzard. Not an actual blizzard, because it's nice and warm at the moment, so don't do that. Not that you necessarily have the power. And finally, Rafael Gomez says, my dream port would be an Ethernet port. Massive thanks to everybody who left a comment. Unfortunately, I can't read all of your comments out because there is only one of me and I am a little bit sleepy right now. But you do have a chance to get one of your comments read out in the next episode. And so, my question for you this week is, does the Switch really need Netflix and a web browser and all those multimedia apps that you'd expect with a modern gaming console? In case you don't know, the Switch is not getting a web browser and there are no current plans to get Netflix or Amazon Prime Video or any sort of streaming service like that on there. And some people seem to be quite divided about it, so I want to know what you think. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you make a little 3D printed version of that subscribe button and turn it into a Switch for fun, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.